Well, I think what's important is, let's start by the word morphogenesis. Morphogenesis means the origins and development and form, structure and organization in response to nature, fundamentally. The evolution of morphogenesis began originally as a research group that was looking into evolving design based on environmental criteria, plagiarizing from nature, using models of artificial intelligence, artificial life, based on neo-Darwinism. And after a substantial amount of research work in that area, we decided to start Morphogenesis as an architectural design firm to see whether these ideas are supplantable, because academic research still continues in the area of digital design and evolutionary design, but its applicability to the architectural context is something that needed to be tried and tested. This is the ongoing endeavor of Morphogenesis, and now it's been 13 years, and slowly and steadily I think we are moving towards that goal. Technology will always play a role, and has always played a role in the way architecture has evolved. For example, 500 years back, when they invented the parallel bar to design forts, and the impact of that parallel bar on 500 years of architecture was tremendous. When we moved from the manual parallel bar to the computational domain, we went into using CAD as a fundamental tool as the tool of production of architecture, and that had its implications as well, because unluckily it became more as not computer aided design, it became computer obstructed design in our opinion. We call it COD more than CAD, and that's the way we predominantly see that impact on architecture today. It's what the CAD domain has done. It's largely an unintelligent domain. It does not have the ability to exactly know what it is. It's a fundamental difference between the manual method and the computational method. Our endeavor has been to look at technology from a different viewpoint, to see how we can use technology, customize it, bend it, and localize it to solutions that are emanating from that region itself. So by using existing tools that are available in technology, we managed to customize them specifically towards more environmental constraints, towards more generative evolutionary requirements of design, rather than just pure drafting methods. But fundamentally, I think a lot of the buildings that we're working with today would not have been possible without the advent of technology that is taking place. But sadly so, still today, we think that there is not enough feedback from the architectural community into the evolution of technology which is deployed towards production of design. It's still a long way away compared to technologies, say, used in aircraft design, or used in ship design, or used in automobile design. Technology has to be viewed from two aspects. One, like I mentioned earlier, technology, the use of technology in the production of design. Second is the use of technology in the actual physical built environment. And these are two sort of separate scenarios. The use of technology in the production of design is very well accepted. There are no issues with that, as long as it leads to an overall vision of sustainability, which is both financial, technological, environmental, social and cultural, and that works very well. What does not work very well in India still is that a method of physical production of buildings is still very antiquated and disorganized. The use of technology or high technology in the built environment still poses severe restrictions and problems in India today, largely also due to the fact that we have to question why we need advanced technology in the operation of our buildings. Can we do it by purely passive methods? Do we need it in the first place? That's something that is highly questionable today on one level. And on the second level is we don't really have the infrastructure in this country to work with high technology in the buildings today. Well, I think the gap that will eventually need to be bridged is not the technology in India coming at par with the technology in the West. I think it's the other way around. I think the technology in the West needs a radical rethink, because the technology in the West in building design has predominantly evolved assuming that buildings sit completely divorced to the environment that they're in. And for 50 years or 70 years or 100 years now of this evolution, in divorcing buildings from the region. I mean, I'm talking about the hermetically sealed, perfectly air-conditioned building, for example, where human comfort ranges have been measured as 24 degrees plus minus 1. And I assure you that the human comfort range is way beyond 2 degrees. So the use of technology in MEP systems internationally, the use of technology in trying to produce architecture that let us use the terms, in fact someone used this very recently, structural gymnastics. Without, if there is a purpose, there is a vision as to why technology is required, then it is appropriate. The advantage we have in India is that we have a good history of architecture where our architecture has evolved without any resources. So there are fantastic models of adaptive design to the environment, to the needs of the people. What we really need to do is to be able to, the bridging of the gap, like I said, we don't need to build buildings that are extensively reliant on technology, but what we do need to do is to get a certain rigor of craft and a certain rigor of excellence in construction. That is missing. That is something that can only come up through a bottom-up system of training of craftsmen, carpenters, welders, masons, something that is we see disintegrating in the country today. With the visual and the oral medium of technology becoming all pervasive, everyone is exposed to everything. I mean, there is just absolutely nothing hidden. There is no shock and awe of good or bad design anymore because everyone is exposed. What that leads to during, I think, the education years in our colleges is there is a tremendous disposition towards a cut and paste form of architecture without really understanding why a particular architecture or a particular visual has been arrived at. So there is a lot of surfacing without in-depth analysis of why something looks the way it does, why something is morphologically configured the way it is. And that is a challenge, and that requires a process of, I think, unlearning, which is quite a perverse idea in itself, but to unlearn something is far more difficult, which is, I think, that what we initially do with most of the young people who come here, is we take them through that process, take them through the process of actually understanding what it means to put a building together, and then work them back upwards. So in a way it's regressive, a step back to take 2 steps forward. Knowledge management, connectivity. I would say that more than anything else. We built great buildings all through. I mean, we built we built Taj Mahals and Colosseums, and we built Sagrada Familia and Gaudi's work, and we've done all that without computers. So it's not that computation and technology have led to a great improvement in the kind of buildings that we do. Sure, it's improved speed, but I think the key factor has been in knowledge management, the ability to harness what we call wisdom. Things that you can't document easily or find in books. The experience of a practice of, say, 50, 60 people working together, recording as an editing mechanism. And what we have put in place is this little bit of in-house software. And what it does is that if anyone finds an article that is good, they submit it. It's a morphogenesis Google search engine, let's put it that way. And if there's a good detail that was tried out in some building and that worked, that's added to the database. If something did not work, that's added to the database. And I think it's that connectivity and that growing body of knowledge, which I think is the biggest strength that technology has given us, which was not possible. Hence, in the earlier days, pre-computation, pre-connectivity, pre-networking,